Hearing anybody but myself. Ladies? See
I'm
me?
here.
Okay.
I'm ready.
See everybody. Okay, well, this is the virtual Joint Budget and Finance Committee meeting for May 10th, 2021. It's also a special call committee of the whole meeting are hereby called to order. We have minutes from our last meeting. Are there any changes or would someone like to make a motion to approve them?
I move for approval.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and properly seconded that we approve the minutes of our last meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So those meeting minutes are approved. Now we are to item 3, consideration of the consent agenda. Does anyone have items that they would like to add to the consent agenda?
I would like to put the following items on consent. Item number 4 on page 1.
Okay,
On page 2, items 5, 6, and 7. On
Okay.
page 3, items 8 and 10. On page 5, item 14. On page 6, items 17 and 19. And then page 7, items 20 and 21. 20 and 21.
okay. Thank you. President Pro Tem, are you okay with all of those items? And do you have any to add or take off?
Yes, I'm okay with those, but I did have some to add and see if we could agree on those, please.
Okay.
Okay,
On-
which ones?
Yes, page 4, items 11, 12. It's called 13, Counselor. I'm sorry. 11, 12, 13.
I meant to put 13 on
Okay.
there, but not 12.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I'm
So,
interested in hearing about 11 and 12 and.
Not 13, I missed 13.
So you're
Okay,
in agreement
so
on 13, okay.
Yes.
that's the speed bump. Okay,
Mhm.
13 on page 4. Yeah, page 4 kind of got skipped.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna read the ones that I believe we're placing on consent just to be sure I can confirm with y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, on page 1, items 4 and 5. On page, no, excuse me, item 4. Then on page 2, items 5, 6, and 7. Then on page 3, items 8 and items 10. Then on page 4, item 13. On page 5, item 14. On page 6, item 17 and 19. And on page 7, items 20 and 21.
Counselor Abbott, do you want number 10 to be left off since 10 through 12 are dealing with the same thing?
Yes. I'm sorry, I was thinking there were Memorial Park and George Ward, but there's Legion Field too. So yeah, let's leave item 10 off of consent. So they can lump them together and talk to us about all of them at the same time, and then we can ask our questions about the various locations. So now that we have our consent agenda, do we have a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So the consent agenda is approved. And our first item will be which is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents required for the city to complete a grant with Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, or ALEA, and the Alabama Gulf Coast High Density Drug Trafficking Area in the amount of $65,940 for the purpose of increased surveillance and detection in the Alabama Gulf Coast high-intensity drug trafficking area. Said funds shall be appropriated to the Birmingham Police Department and no matching funds are due from the city. And authorize the mayor to take any and all actions and execute such documents as are appropriate and necessary to accept and expend the grant funds on behalf of the city for use by the Birmingham Police Department in accordance with the grant documents.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay, we do have a properly seconded motion. Is Terry Lee Burrell here or some other person from Finance Grants?
Yes, ma'am. This is Terry. I am here.
Okay, you want to talk to us about this?
I'll do my very best. This is a grant between Alabama Law Enforcement Agency and the police department. The police department has been doing this probably now for the last 10, 15 years. And we enter into an agreement with the LEA annually for the highway interdiction drug trafficking program. So it's the police are on the interstate getting drugs off of the highway.
Okay, does anyone on the committee have any questions they'd like to ask? Well, I really just have one question, and that is, so when our officers are doing this, is there like a task force that sits out on the interstate? Because I rarely ever see Birmingham police on the interstate, and it may just be that, I'm not there as much as I used to be. But is it a special group or is it just patrol officers?
Now, Councilor Abbott, I'm going to give you my best guess based on my past experience. You wouldn't necessarily see a Birmingham Police Department car on the interstate. In the past, in my knowledge, it has been like maybe unmarked vehicles, but it is police who are specialized to look for drugs on the highway based on the HIDTA grant. So you wouldn't see a regular patrol car on the interstate is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
wouldn't
so
see
they
that.
wouldn't
Yes,
be
ma'am.
out there stopping the drug people. They would
Yes,
be
ma'am.
special folks that are hunting them down.
On specific highways, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor, I have
Thank
a
you.
question.
Yes, Councilor Smitherman?
Is this for personnel or equipment?
Personnel.
How many officers would that pay for?
Now, I'm not sure, Councilman. I can't give you that answer today
Okay,
because I
Well-
don't know that answer.
okay. Well, whenever you find out the answer, can you let the committee know, please?
Absolutely, we will.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that would be fine for me via email. It doesn't have to be a special, letter. Just shoot us an email and let us know. Okay, we do have if there are no other questions, we have a motion and a second. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So is that President Pro Tem, did you say aye?
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Aye, yes.
Okay, well, aye for me too, so that passes unanimously and will go to the full council. Our next item is item 10 on that same page, and I will read 10, 11, and 12 together because they're all related. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Alabama Power Company whereby APC shall perform upgrades to city property known as George Ward Park lighting upgrade, replacing existing lighting with LED fixtures to include 204 sports light fixtures, 48 tennis court fixtures with LED equivalent on a 1-for-1 replacement, providing 31 70-foot Class 3 wood poles and removing and disposing of 48 wood poles and such other services as the agreement provides at a cost of $22,740.46 monthly to be paid over a term of 60 months. The next one is item 11, on the next page, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Alabama Power Company whereby APC shall perform upgrades to city property known as Memorial Park to upgrade and replace existing lighting with LED fixtures to include replacing 33 sports light fixtures, 18 tennis court fixtures with LED equivalents, 8 60-foot Class 3 wood poles, removal and disposal of 8 wood poles, and such other services as the agreement provides at a cost of $6,150.91 monthly to be paid over a term of 60 months. Item 12 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Alabama Power Company whereby APC shall perform upgrades to city property known as Legion Field Stadium Memorial located at 400 Graymont Avenue, Birmingham, to provide lighting design, materials, and labor for LED lighting replacement of existing arc lighting system, replace existing arc light fixtures with LED lighting with mesh wireless control system, replacement and upgrade of Legion Field East Lighting Tower, and refurbish Legion Field West Lighting Tower, and such other services as the agreement provides at a cost of $73,429.66 monthly to be paid over a term of 60 months.
Move the items.
Second.
Okay, these, all three items have been moved and properly seconded. Now we are ready to hear an explanation from Chaz Mitchell and Shanae Edens Bennett on what we're doing.
Ms. Abby and the committee, I'll let Ms. Shanae go forward, and then I can kind of speak to the cost, because I think it was a little clarification error that we need to give to the committee about the dollar amounts that's on the agenda. But I'll let Ms. Shanae Edens go first, and then I'll follow behind her.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
As you may know or do not know, we've been having safety issues in our parks due to wooden poles that are currently there in place. These poles will be replaced with metal poles, and I also have Alabama Power on the line as well, to make our parks, our softball fields safer, as well as to encourage others to use our ball fields during the night hours, because currently we only have to do day play because of our lighting situation. We have had poles that snap, and you know we get a lot of rain here in Birmingham, so we've had issues with poles at George Ward and Memorial Park that snap because they're wood. This will assist us with safety measures and to keep our ball fields busy with youth and adult softball and baseball. Legion Field, of course, those towers are old. You can see them coming up Graymont and 8th Avenue West. All of those will be replaced as well with metal poles and with LED lighting, which will provide better lighting here at the stadium. And Chaz, if you want to talk about the financial piece.
So what's before the council, I know it has a dollar amount that's attached to the actual agreement. So most of that dollar amount is really the installation cost. And then we will see a difference in the monthly billing that we get from Alabama Power for the actual maintenance and for the cost saving measures from the LED conversion. I think Mr. Williams from Alabama Power is on, and Mr. Carter can maybe speak to how that formula works. But the dollar amount that's before the council it is spread over a 60-month period. But I think what's on the agenda is kind of misleading about what the monthly cost of each facility will actually be.
So are you going to give us an update on what the actual cost is, or?
Well, I was hoping I can lean on the representative from Alabama Power to speak on that.
And
Hey,
Chaz,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
No, ma'am. This is Ralph Williams from Alabama Power Company. Hello to the council members and the rest of the committee. Just wanted to, for context, speak to, this being sort of the third phase of the LED conversion that the council wanted to do. We started with the street lights, and of course, the parks and rec centers were the second and third phase of that. And so that's essentially what you're seeing before you. My teammate, Armand Carter, is leading that project, and I'll let him speak to, sort of how the financing works and the operations plan around it as well.
Thanks, Ralph. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. All right. So as Ralph indicated, my name is Armand Carter. I'm Energy Services Manager here at Alabama Power. And so what you have before you today are 3 projects. So we have George Ward, Memorial, and Legion Field as well. And so what Chaz told you guys is spot on. So the numbers you see, those will be the monthly energy services payments that will be a part of your monthly energy bill. And what Chaz was alluding to, as we replace this old, outdated technology with new LED technology, we will use a lot less energy. And so the energy bills going forward will reflect that. At Legion Field specifically, converting from those old lights to the new LED lights, it's going to be a lot more energy efficient. So in the long term, you will see a decrease in the energy spend there at Legion Field. And so that's what Chaz was referring to. Even though it's costing you guys to go in and do the work, you're going to have a more efficient facility. It's going to use less wattage, less draw. You're also going to have less maintenance. So Mr. Brunge and his team are going to have to do less maintenance because you're going to have new facilities. And as Director Edens indicated as well, it's going to be a lot safer because those areas will be a lot more well lit and the technology will be more of, standard technology of today.
And councils, if I could add this, Alabama Power will replace if the lights go out. That will save our staff for have to rent lifts to go up there. For them, it's even more safe that they won't have to replace the lights if something happens to them.
Okay. Are there questions from members of the committee?
Councilor Abbott, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm glad to see this as an opportunity that we have for each of these parks. You did mention, Mr. Mitchell, and I think Mr. Williams both, that this is part of a project or an ongoing effort that the council had entered into a few years back in trying to upgrade this lighting. So is this similar to what we've already done in some of our area parks? I know we've had some lighting upgrades in District 7. So is this a similar type project or just the other arm of that type project for these parks?
So yes, it was basically like, this was right before COVID hit, that we had a first phase that we changed out. I think it was close to 13 parts, and they were representing each district. And so then the second phase of that is right when we hit the COVID, when we were supposed to go into the second phase. And we're still going to do that right now with the budget implications and everything that we have going on. We still plan on doing that in conjunction with Alabama Power. What's before you now are really 3 of our major revenue producing parts right now. So we would like to, use this as a linchpin or whatever to try and make sure that we have these revenue producing parks have adequate lighting so we can go after the different softball tournaments, the different baseball tournaments, events at Legion Field getting ready for the World Game. So that was our thought process with this, and we know that these were 3 major revenue producing parks, as you can say. And then we will revisit the second phase of the actual park lighting program so we can hit all different parks.
That's right.
And I know one other thing, safety was included as an issue and a reason for wanting to upgrade. And I did think with the other project, is it also, and Ms. Bennett, you may have alluded to this as far as staffing, does this type lighting also decrease the amount of vandalism that may occur due to the older type lights that are out there? And
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. It's just like Mr. Williams said first, like when we first did the citywide LED conversion, one of the main things was the anti-vandalism LED lights. So if somebody wanted to shoot at the light, they would have to use a whole magazine to take out the whole light. So that's the beauty of having the LED anti-resistant, lights right now. So that was our main reason.
And just my last thing, if you don't mind, Madam Chair. During the announcement today of the Legion, what is it, Legion at Legion, about the soccer being played at Legion Field, there was a question from some of the media, why this investment in Legion Field? And so, this is a large type of investment. And I think I just wanted to be sure that's repeated. It's the safety as well as trying to increase the amount of sporting events that could be brought to that area.
That is correct. I mean, we were working on this way before the Birmingham Legion came. So we would like to, as I think Miss Abbott had said before, put lipstick on a pig. But I think we still have a very good venue where we can still promote things, have things like the Birmingham Legion come to Birmingham, World Games, hopefully some type of, concert or, any type of thing that we can use to full leverage and have events come to certain parts in Birmingham.
All right, thank you. Those are all my questions, Madam Chair.
Well, thank you. I do have a couple of questions about the George Ward Park improvements. We've been hearing from the tennis court people whose lights were vandalized and haven't been working for several years now. I think half their lights have been out. But in reading this, I thought we were replacing all of the wood poles, but it says we're adding 31 wood poles and we're removing 48 wood poles. So if we're replacing them all with metal, why are they wood on this item?
And Ms. Abbott, this is Armand Carter from Alabama Power. And so, little point of clarification. I think we initially looked at metal and wood poles, and I think the decision was to go with wood. There was two things that came into play. One being the timetable, because you guys wanted to get these parks back up and running as soon as possible, and then two being the cost. With COVID and everything going on, we've seen a lot of fluctuation and increase in some costs, and so both were looked at, but on our side, we saw it more financially feasible to go with the wood poles. If metal is something that you guys are insisted on, I mean, that is something that we can look at and really see kind of what the price and delivery difference may be. But at this point, we had wood poles in the budget.
And also, Councilor Abbott, this is Ralph Williams from Alabama Power. To Director Bennett's point, as we've gone down this journey of the partnership with the lighting infrastructure, we're going to make sure that the infrastructure is safe and upgraded. So you won't have any aging poles that are leaning or broken. These will be, new wooden poles. We're going to make sure, as Director Bennett said, if the lights are out, we'll get them back on. If there's, I've had a bunch of conversations with Councilor Smitherman and also Councilor Alexander and all of the council members about poles in different parts of the district. A lot of times they're not our poles, but we're able to work with the other utilities to get those poles replaced. So pretty much it's the context is the city is continuing to invest in its infrastructure and upgrade that technology, but at the same time, it's safer. If something happens, we're going to replace it, and you won't see any of those old leaning broken poles at any of your parks anymore.
Okay, so we're replacing 48 poles with 31 poles. So I'm assuming that each pole holds more and better lights.
Yes, the coverage will be, the coverage will be 3 times better.
Yep.
Go ahead, Armand. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah,
you're just right on top of it. I mean,
the coverage of the LED light is much vaster than just the regular lights that we had. You can even, because I think Armand, Mr. Carter, you can talk about how we can control the density of the light. So if it's bright or if it's too bright, we can dim it down, or we can turn it all the way up, and so we can have a much better coverage.
That's right. So you're good. You're good. We're going in the same direction, which is good. So we went out and did a photometric study, at the park, just as Chaz mentioned, kind of looking at the current light and what would be the most optimal light. So these LED lights can be, for lack of any better term, fine-tuned to get the most output from the light. So just similar to at your home, if you replace an old incandescent bulb with an LED bulb, that room suddenly looks a lot brighter. Same thing with LED lights. So you go out and replace those old incandescent lights with new LED lights. Not only are you going to get a much brighter field, you're going to be able to get get that brightness from less bulbs. And so that points back to what I stated earlier about the energy usage going forward. So you'll see a lot less energy draw because you got more efficient bulbs and you got less bulbs.
Okay, so then the other thing is, exactly what is an LED equivalent? 'Cause it says the tennis court fixtures are LED equivalents?
Those will be LED bulbs. There are other kind of efficient type bulbs out there outside of LED. But I mean, for the sake of our conversation, they all are LED bulbs.
Okay, so that equivalent shouldn't be in there, right?
Yeah. So there's a spec sheet that's attached to our proposal that shows you exactly what everything will be. So these are, state of the art, best of kind, best of type bulbs that are out there right now. I mean, this is good stuff.
Okay, well, I'm glad. I mean, since we only get one bite at the apple, we just want to make sure that it's
That's right.
100% the first time, because we never seem to have the money to fix things that break. So I'm
And
glad,
Miss Abbott,
glad we're doing this.
I don't know if
Yes.
it was
Excited as well.
I don't know if it's the committee's temperature, but I know you talked about the wood versus the concrete. I think Alabama Power, if they can show the council how much it costs between a wood pole and a metal pole. And I know we can have a conversation, maybe work with the council in the neighborhood and whoever to maybe supplement that cost out of their PIC or neighborhood funds. If you want to go away from the wood poles and go to the more concrete, I think we can at least give you that dollar amount to show you what the difference is.
Okay, concrete metal poles.
Well, metal poles.
So are they concrete or are they metal?
They're metal, right?
Yeah. Metal
Okay.
poles or concrete poles are an option, probably not in this application, but both are appropriate. Both are options, but it would probably be metal in this particular
Okay,
environment.
well, it would be good to hear what the difference is in cost between the two, because I would think that wood poles deteriorate with age and that metal ones hopefully do not, although I can't say that for sure, but it would be interesting to know what the difference is in cost. And then as for this amount of money in each one of these items, now one person said we were paying for the work that's being done, and another person said that this was the utility bill cost per month, and now I'm confused. What is it that's on our agenda for budget and finance? This, for instance, at George Ward, $22,740 a month is going to pay for what?
Okay, so that is the turnkey cost of our project. That includes all engineering, design, and installation of those lights going forward for that 60-month term. So that is, we're handling the finances. We're taking everything on. You guys don't pay a cent until those lights are installed and working to your specifications. That's when that payment will start. So that is paying for all of the labor, all the equipment, and all of the engineering and oversight that goes into installing those lights. And that, like at George Ward, that $22,000 you mentioned, that would be a line item on the power bill for George Ward. It was $22,000. And you would see that each month, that number would not fluctuate. It would not change. There's a cancellation schedule. So at any time, if you guys got kind of a windfall of capital that you wanted to spend, you get paid down on that contract, or you can go in and buy down some of those months and reduce that term. So it's completely flexible, but that is an all-in price. That's everything included.
Okay, tax tag, title, and power, and then at the end of 60 months, do we start paying a power bill?
So at the end of 60 months, so just use a simple analogy, looking at your power bill at home, right? If your power bill at home fluctuates monthly, depending on how much power you use, but this $22,000 will be a fixed item on your power bill every month. At the end of that 60-month term, that $22,000 payment would go away. And now you would just have your original electricity usage bill that you had every month before.
Yeah, which I would think would fluctuate in a park by the season and what sport was being played.
Exactly. But if you look at it in summary, You know, it's hard at parks because like you said, depending on depending on when you're operating, you know, we had last year, which was COVID, you probably didn't use the parks as much as you did in the past. But if you look at it kind of on an overall basis, you look at the LED lights in 5 years versus what you were paying 5 years normalized for the incandescent lights, your electricity usage, your power bill is going to be a lot lower.
Okay, I think I understand now. Okay. Well, it is a little
That's
bit,
why we're here.
yes, confusing. I mean, I know nobody was misleading on purpose. It's just that it is confusing to read this and try to figure out exactly what it says. But we do have a motion.
Counselor, I have a question.
Oh, okay, Counselor Smitherman.
What fund is this money coming from to pay for this?
It's budgeted in the park and rec utilities bill.
Okay, all right. That's pretty much it. Thank you. And thank you to Alabama Power and Shanae and Chaz for making this happen. Because I know I've been talking to Shanae and we were about to close the parks down because of the lighting situation. So I want to say thank you for doing this.
Well, and thank you, Counselor
Ma'am.
Smitherman, for asking that question, because that was one of my questions that I forgot to ask, was how we were funding it. And that also brings up another question. What kind of bid was done to get this project moving? Because I don't see, you know, normally it says 2 bids, 3 bids, and we don't have any bids shown on here. So,
So council, it's pretty much like we've already said, it's an add-on to what we have already done with the citywide lighting program and the first phase of the park project. So we're just adding on to something that has already been approved by the council.
okay, but yeah, there's state law involved in having to bid items over a certain amount of money. And I was just wondering about that because I had an independent electrical company call and say, you know, that we're taking business away from them by doing these no bid contracts. And of course, the minute the word no bid contract came out, I thought, oh, heck, we can't be doing that. So what is it about these projects that keeps them from being required to be bid?
I have to lean on the law department and get you an answer before this item becomes for the council, but I'll find out for you.
Oh yeah, please do that, because I really don't want to say it out loud at a council meeting. I mean, not that this isn't a public meeting, but I mean, you know, I don't want to stir the pot if the pot doesn't need to be stirred. But I would like an answer, a legal answer on that question. But since it's been asked to me, so you're committed to getting us that answer, to all 3 council members of this committee, right?
Yes, ma'am, and the entire council.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you know might come up. Okay, so we have a motion on items 10, 11, and 12. Is everybody ready to vote? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So that was unanimous, and we will send these items to the full council for approval. Now, our next item is item, let's see, we considered 13, 14. Our next item is item 15, which is a project agreement with Stivers Ford of Birmingham, under which Stivers Ford will acquire a portion of the Palisades Shopping Center site and will construct facilities to house up to 4 automotive dealerships, including a parts and repair center, and the city will provide financial assistance in support of the project in an amount not to exceed $2,100,000 payable over a period, excuse me, of up to 10 years from sales tax revenue generated to the city from Stivers Ford's sale of automotive parts and accessories at the site. The annual amount of the incentive will be the lesser of 50% of such sales tax revenue for the prior year, or $210,000.
Can you bring up item number 16 too?
Yeah, item 16 is related in a way, same location. a project agreement with Palisades Redevelopment Partners LLC, under which Palisades Redevelopment Partners will undertake the redevelopment of part of the existing shopping center known as the Palisades for continued use as a shopping center, and the city will provide financial assistance in support of the project in an amount not to exceed $2,100,000 payable over a period of up to 10 years from sales tax revenue generated to the city from the retail operations at the shopping center. The annual amount of the incentive will be the lesser of 50% of such sales tax revenue for the prior year or $210,000. Mr. Johnson?
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, Councilors. Good afternoon. Aurelio Johnson, Project Manager, Department of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. Good afternoon. These two projects that we're proposing today is for the Palisades Shopping Center site, which was once formerly the former Virginia College site. And that site, Mr. Stivers, Eddie Stivers, and the group Palisades Redevelopment Partners are considering, well, they will demolish that site and build a new car dealership as well as add new retail to that site. On the one portion, the reason we bifurcated these two items because one side is going to be for actual retail sales for new commercial development, and the other portion will be for the car dealership portion. I will speak to the car dealership portion first. On the phone, I have Mr. Eddie Stivers with us, who's the president and CEO of Stivers Ford. I have his attorney, Brad Sklar. I also have from the Office of City Attorney, Mr. James Stanley, Director of IEO, Mr. Cornell Wesley. To give you some context and insight in terms of what's being proposed on that site, what Mr. Stivers and Palisades Development Partners is proposing to do, they're going to demolish the site, which was once the Virginia College site. That site will be demolished. There will be a capital cost of about $24 million to redevelop that site for the car dealerships. There's going to be Stivers Motor Groups. There's going to be multiple automotive groups that will be housed out of this location. Of that, this new entity will create approximately at a minimum of 90 new jobs with an average income northward of $60,000 per year. In that, they will, over years, grow that, and we've, over the 10-year period, based upon sales projections, new car sales will clear excess of $775 million in new car sales from this location. What the city is offering in support at this location for the car dealership, the $2.1 million over the 10-year period would go to the parts and supply side. In essence, that with the parts and the supplies and any other sales items that are sold at the car dealership. So what we're proposing is to offer support in the efforts of helping them with their sales of the non-car sales items. So I have Mr. Stivers on the call as well. If there's any additional questions you may have regarding it, but this is going to be an incredible opportunity to this location. Again, you're talking about a capital cost of excess of $24 million, 90 new jobs with a $60,000+ a year annual income, and I'll speak to the retail portion after this. If anyone have any questions, I have Mr. Stivers on the phone. I have his attorneys. I have Mr. Stanley, as well as Mr. Cornell Wesley. If there's any questions that we can address to the committee.
Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask? Because I have a pile of them. Well, then I'll just dive in. This is in my district, and an individual came to the neighborhood association about 6 or 8 months ago to talk about this possibility with, of course, the name of the dealership being a secret at that time. And so people in the neighborhood, well, they weren't told that there was going to be part of the shopping center demolished. It was kind of like more like a reuse idea at that time. but I realize a lot of time has passed. So can you show us on a drawing which parts will be demolished and what will be constructed in their place? Or do you not have that available yet?
Brett, is there some way that we can place the actual agreement with the renderings um, electronically for Counselor to see that? We have that, Counselor. I can't.
I was surprised it wasn't attached to our agenda for us to look at over the weekend, but it wasn't, so I just think it's important to understand what we're doing. Especially since people expect their councilman to know something about what the city is doing.
Counselor, let me get that to you.
Well, there are a couple more questions.
Okay.
And it may be that the committee doesn't want to wait to see this stuff, but I'm very interested in it. But another big concern of the community was whether people would be trying to deliver big tractor trailer rigs full of vehicles during the night when people, the surrounding residents, were trying to sleep. You know, if there would be banging around and the sound of big trucks driving in with, 10 new Fords on them. They wanted guarantees that this wouldn't become a disruptive situation where the community was, upset with the Ford dealership for keeping them awake at night.
Mr. Cyrus, can you chime in on that, sir, and offer some context to that, please?
Of course. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the question. We have developed many car dealerships throughout the South and have a reputation of doing good work within the communities and getting along with our neighbors. Our business is dependent upon getting along with our neighbors. We are absolutely able to regulate delivery times of vehicles from the Ford Motor Company. That's not an issue. It's done at several of our dealerships now. So that's no problem whatsoever. A car dealership will be far less disruptive, I think, than the deliveries of other businesses that are in the area that do deliver 24 hours. And the dealership is not an environment that's open late. We don't, as a family, we don't open on Sundays. And we believe in getting our folks home as quickly as possible. So I don't think that there will be any disruption for the community. And if anything ever did occur, we'll fix it really quickly. We want to be good neighbors, and we want to earn the opportunity to serve our neighbors in business as well.
Okay, and since this property is surrounded on 3 sides by residential, they were also concerned about lighting, not, wanting the lighting to actually shine down on the ground and the cars instead of shining all around to the residents in the neighborhood where they had to buy blackout curtains and, stuff like that. So
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So when we develop new dealerships, we always change to lighting that shines straight down. It's LED lighting. Our goal is, the automobile business is not like it was 20 years ago with streamers and carnival atmospheres and those type of things. Everybody finds us online. When you shop for an automobile, you generally start online, and so beyond that, I'm a fairly frugal business person. When it gets to that time of night, lighting is about security only. We don't want to light the world up. It costs a lot of money to do that, and so we have several dealerships that abut apartment buildings and neighborhoods, and we work with lighting engineers to ensure that we don't become a nuisance for our neighbors.
Well, that's certainly good to hear because we
Yeah,
have,
may
we
may I
have
go one step?
Birmingham residents, but we also have Homewood residents, and we want all residents to be comfortable with this, not just ours, because they're our neighbors.
Well, and to that end, if I may, add one thing that you haven't asked yet. We also won't be placing any outdoor PA speakers, because that's another rub that bothers neighbors. And we don't intend to do that. So, let me get one step ahead and just commit to that's something else we won't be doing.
Well, that was the next question. And if you could just get the fast food people to commit to that too, because nobody wants to know when your order's ready. But they also don't want Mr. Jones to be called to the parts department for whatever and hear it all over the neighborhood. So thank you
That's right.
for answering that question ahead of time. And I apologize to my colleagues, but we need information about projects going on in our districts because our constituents expect us to know everything. And then they not only expect us to know everything, they expect us to be in control of everything
Yes.
and be able to make everything happen instantly. So I know my colleagues know about that, know how that works. So any other questions before we move ahead on these two items? Ladies, are you ready to vote? Okay, well, I take.
Madam Chair,
You're
I-
ready, yes.
on the second item, item number 16, this is the second component of this development agreement. And this is the component that's going to add additional new retail businesses that's going to come along to the actual Palisades site itself. In addition to that, there's going to be about a $2.4 million capital investment in terms of renovations and whatnot, that they're going to attract new businesses to come along to support the anchored Walmart tenants that's there, as well as the current tenants. But there's a $2.4 million renovation piece that's going to support this car dealership that's coming. So there are also going to be new retail opportunities that's coming about that. I have on the phone Mr. Ray Jones, who represents Palisades Redevelopment Partners, to answer any questions regarding that. The city is going to offer in support of net new businesses coming up to an amount of $2.1 million over a 10-year period to support the project moving forward. So if there's any questions regarding the retail side, I have Mr. Ray Jones on the phone to address any issues or concerns you may have.
Okay. Ray Jones?
Mr. Jones?
Abbott, can you hear me?
Sir.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, Councilor Abbott, I was the gentleman that met with you. COVID creates a lapse in timeline. Sometimes it's unfortunately it's been over a year. It's crazy.
Yeah, it seemed like 6 months, but.
I know it does for us too. So yes, we're, when Eddie approached us, obviously there were things about it we couldn't say in the meeting. We were under confidentiality agreements, but our plan is to redevelop, renovate the center alongside him. He's, as you heard, spending an absorbent amount of money in what we feel like is a very key part of the city. And we're going to renovate the facade, the parking lot, and re-landscape the center, in addition to, some build outs for tenants and stuff like that.
That's good. Are you at liberty to talk about any of your new tenants, or is that quiet also?
So we have a lease signed with a restaurant group in a space that I believe has been vacant for quite some time. We signed a lease with a national furniture store. And at this point, that's all we have on the books.
That's good. I mean, Palisades is a nice shopping center, and it definitely needs a shot in the arm because it's languished for a long time. Even before COVID, it was languishing. So this sounds like
Unfortunately, it was bank owned, and so it just sat there idle. And anytime that happens, it's never good for the property, the neighborhood, everything. So
Yeah, okay, well, good, good. Thank you. But Mr. Johnson, the
Yes, ma'am.
drawings, did you come up with any kind of drawings, or do you need to?
Yes,
submit
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extract everything. I will forward everything to you and the committee members so that you can have some renderings in terms of what the proposed sites will look like and how the redevelopment will look. And I'll get those to you as soon as I get off. I can't do it right here on this computer right now, but I'll forward those documents to you so that you can have some renderings and see what they look like.
Yeah, and I think it would be excellent for someone to come back to the neighborhood association and give a more thorough overview of what's going to happen since, it's been a year and now we kind of know that there's actually going to be demolition and everything going on there. It would be good just to share that information. But yeah, if you'll send it to me, I'll see what we need. So thank you.
And Councilor Abbott, I have your contact information. I'll reach out to you again about when your neighborhood dates are.
Yeah, and they have a very simple, they meet the first Monday of every single month. They only miss Christmas, so we should be around and available. I think everyone's very interested in it. So when people are interested, you want to give them information. So-
Counselor,
Yes.
I would be, unfortunately, in June, the first Monday of June, I will be with my 5 children out west. But anytime in July or August, I'd be very pleased to join you all and visit with the Neighborhood Association. It's something we do in every project we do, and I'd like to get to know everybody.
Okay, well, I just have to tell you that I'm a big Ford person, and I have a 1930 Ford Model A that I own and drive occasionally, very occasionally. And so, I was an Adamson, customer, and I expect to be a Stivers customer. So,
Well,
you know,
that warms my heart because I'm looking down on the showroom in Montgomery, and we have a 2-door and a 4-door model 1930 Model A on our showroom down here. 1930 was the first year that my grandfather was a Ford dealer.
okay, well, that's good. Yeah, I have a 4-door, thankfully. No crawling into the back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we do have, according to my note, we have a
We do
motion.
not have a motion.
We
No, we
well,
don't.
Let's get one.
Move the items.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and properly seconded on items 15 and item 16 that we approve these items. So all in favor say aye
Aye.
Aye.
and aye. So those are approved and will be sent to the full council. Our next.
Thank you
item-
all.
Thank you, Madam Chair and the committee. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you to everyone. This is a team approach here.
Yes,
Thanks.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, our next item is item 17. An ordinance to amend the grants fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021 by transferring $30,000 from Bessie Estelle Park Inclusive Playground and appropriating $30,000 to Inslee Village Creek Tuxedo Park Development per the grantor's request. That is State Senator Linda Coleman Madison. So I'm disappointed to see this, but I understand that since absolutely nothing is happening at Bessie Estelle, and I think can't until after the World Games, hopefully something will be able to be done later. But Ms. Edens Bennett, do you want to tell us what's going on here?
Yes, she just wanted to reallocate it to another project that's in her district. And as you stated, we can't do anything to Bessie Estelle until after the World Games. So this was her choice. And I don't know if Chris Hatcher has anything else he wants to add to it, but she brought it to his attention first, and then she wrote us a letter to send her $30,000 donation.
Yes. Mr. Hatcher?
Yes, Madam Chair and Councilors. Chris Hatcher, I serve as the Interim Director for Community Development. And yes, Senator Coleman Madison is really and truly trying to jumpstart the development of the Village Creek Park over on Avenue W in Village Creek over in the Angela community. And she's allocated an additional 125,000 over there in her present funds, and she wanted to reallocate this 30,000 that she has set aside for Bessie Estelle to go along with that to facilitate some additional development and leverage some private sector funding opportunities to help facilitate further development of that park.
Okay, well, I certainly understand. Are there any questions from members of the committee? And hopefully, you know, maybe when we actually can do something at Bessie Estelle, she'll give us some consideration again. Okay, so we need a motion and a second.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Well, I guess I'll
All right,
second.
here we go. Second.
Okay, well, okay, so we have a motion that has been properly seconded. All in favor, on item 17, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so our next item, let's see, 18 is our next item, an ordinance to amend the grants fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021 by appropriating $5,500,888 to community development for community development grant, CDBG, housing opportunity for persons with AIDS, which is HOPWA, and emergency shelter grant, which is ESG, per the CARES Act award received. Do we have a motion?
Move the item.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and properly seconded. Now, Mr. Hatcher, do you want to tell us about this one too?
Yes, ma'am. And this is just going to allow, this ordinance is going to allow finance to establish the general ledger account so that we can start allocating and paying those organizations that we funded under our round one CARES Act funding that council has previously approved.
Okay, any questions from anyone? Okay, well, hearing no questions, we do have a motion that has been properly seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So that item passes, and we are next to item, let's see, consented 19, 20, and 21. So we are to everyone's favorite item, item 21. Do I hear a motion? Or is there something else someone needs to say before we adjourn? Okay,
I move for adjournment.
I'll second that one. It has been moved and properly seconded. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So thank you very much to everyone who has participated today. And we will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Thank you, everybody. Good evening.